Hello, all you Wookiee warriors. How's it going? First off, I want to put this out there for those of you guys who are just tuning into the channel. Hope you guys are having a Wookiee-tastic day, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as the title will say on this video, the stupidity of PlayStation gets worse. I was streaming actually I think last week, and I was like, I told you, and I love it when I'm right. So let me elaborate on that before I get into the video. I've been following this story about PlayStation, their mistake, their blunder. They're going to be feeling it for a while. Sorry if you guys hear a loud noise in the background. My phone, the video is constantly shaking. I'm actually doing this in my truck on my way home from work. That apparently PSN went down. I don't remember PlayStation Network going down where I was at, but it still illustrates the point. And my fear is that when PSN went out, no one could access their games. And that is something that PlayStation has devolved around their system, is that you can't play PlayStation games without, PlayStation Plus or being online. There is no offline mode for you. Now, moving on, we all know about PlayStation having they're going no disc, and their next console is not going to have a disc drive. We all know about that. You guys know my feelings if you guys have tuned into the podcast. But it just seems that PlayStation is quite literally saying, without saying it, hey, we're tired of making games and consoles. We're just gonna bomb our brand here. So what do you mean? What do you think? So what do I mean by that? Well, I just got turned on YouTube and I watched a YouTuber by Young Ya. I've been watching him for many years. He's usually pretty good on his information and his points. So I guess this came out, and they released a new controller. I don't know if it's the new controller for the PS6, but apparently this new controller will not have any buttons. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a moment. For I would want to say about 30 years, maybe 20 years. No, maybe about 30 years. People have been playing games with buttons, like all the way down to the original NES. You had two buttons, start, two buttons, D-pad, and you had your start and select on the Nintendo. That was it. And I feel fortunate enough, I come from the generation that grew up with that. But the only device I ever don't use a controller is my phone. And I only play one game. One. Pokemon Go. That is it. My entire mobile gaming repertoire is completely divulged into that. Now, problem with doing this. One, you get out, like someone's trying to hit the X button, they have to slide to hit the X button. Like, it's not going to be user friendly. It's not going to be something that, you know, you're going to pick up and have fun. You're going to get frustrated, and I can already, in a way I feel sorry for Sony, but in a way they deserve all the ire that's going to come to them, because they're working their butts off to make this PS6, right? And they're saying it's going to be the next great big new thing, and now it's being hit with no disk drive. Everyone's bashing on it. No disk, no buy. I'm actually going to try making a meme video. I've never done these before, but that is for a future time, because I need my computer, and I need some time to actually sit down and try to figure that out. I was kind of inspired by I saw it on my Facebook page, and I was really inspired by the idea, so it's completely different in the video, but I'm really inspired by it. But going back to what I'm talking about, it's just like they're tanking their PS6. Like, they don't want it to sell. They don't want to make PlayStation games no more, or consoles anymore. They're just kind of fed up. And you would think another company who did something very similar and is keeping this physical disc media was Xbox. Not that it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but you know, they're like, oh, we're not going to do any disc drives anymore, and everyone backlashed. And now PlayStation is like, well, let's join the club. Here's my butt cheeks. Give me some spankings. You know, and I just don't get it. As I grew up, I was gonna say grow up. I worked customer service, right? And I grew up with I was taught your customer's always right. Now I get it. PlayStation is a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay? And they want the green. But it seemed like when they first started back on the original PlayStation, they knew they had a connection with their customers. They wanted to make sure they were happy. And now it feels more like, hey, you know what? We're going to do whatever we want, and you guys are going to take it. You're going to buy it. You're going to be happy. No, we're not. Again, on my podcast, I said that a digital future is in the future. I am not arguing that. I am not against that. What I am against is the fact that there will be no ownership. I am against the fact that they don't really prioritize security. I am against the fact that there's not an offline mode for gamers who bought the game and now have to wait and they cannot play it if they do not have an online connection, which limits a lot of people who have really, really bad internet options. Like if you live in a very rural area or in a country that doesn't really have a state or a country that doesn't really have that really good of internet, you're just like, well, you're not going to get PS6, not to mention the price point is egregious. No one's going to want to buy a $1,000 console. But then again, I'm getting off of the video. I don't know who this controller is made for, because it's definitely not made for the gamers. Like, we've all had our rages, and I'm gonna say our controllers have probably taken the brunt of the abuse. Like, I remember playing God of War, not God of War, but Dark Souls. I remember going, on my controller. I've been at the store and someone literally is buying a new controller because they threw their controller on the floor, or, you know. Now, I can already see someone doing this. Well, they buy it, breaking it, or they're really tech savvy, just disassembling the controller and putting the buttons back anyway. Now, don't get me wrong. I use the sensor motion on the controller we have, but very limitedly. Okay. I don't use it to play video games. At the most, I'll use it like if I have to use it on a video game, but those are very, very rare. I don't use it for texting, or like when I shouldn't say texting, but writing a message. No, cool things that I can do with it is like if I booted it up, like there's like art programs on PlayStation that you can go and use, scroll your finger around and draw. I'm like, okay, cool. But I don't see myself going and playing like a game like Dark Souls and trying to get my buttons right and trying to remember where my button is, where's my dodge, where's my parry, where's this, as that is such a memorized game that you have to memorize where your buttons are. You have to spend at least, I would say, a good 10-20 minutes just memorizing what does what. And I can hear an argument already saying like in the comments like, well, can't you just do that with the sensor controller? No. Not in the same sense. Because you can't see, you won't be able to see where the buttons are. You won't be able, you'd have to like go like this. Now, I mean, I could see like them having like a sensory option where it has like a lit up display of the buttons. Like, that would be, you know, irritating, but at least it'd be like still kind of like the button mashing. But I'm going to tell you, even that is, I don't think people would even buy that, because you're going to be trying to button mash and you're going to break the controller. You know? It just thinks like, whomever's in charge of PlayStation and Sony right now is like, I remember a movie called, it was a dinosaur movie. One of my favorite songs was Roll Back the Rock. I just remember the name of it. But anyway, the story devolves around dinosaurs, and this guy, this awesome scientist, comes up with brain drain. And you take this pill and you become super smart. And it seems like someone took his brother's concoction, it was his brain drain, which makes you, well, made the dinosaurs ravenous again. It made the dinosaurs primal again. And it feels like someone took the brain drain and is being really, really, really stupid. And they're like, oh, well, this will work. No. And I think Sony is really gonna feel it when they eventually release the PS6 coming next year, or in 2028. Who knows? Whenever it releases, all right, and no one buys it. I mean, you've gone and messed up when the scalpers aren't buying it, and you only get maybe 10% of people buying this console, and he's like, wow, we're really tanking. Yeah, because there's a lot of us in the generation, and those of us who are teaching the younger generation, wait, it will go down in price, and this newest concoction of, hey, no buttons anymore, just use your touch, just touch, and I can, like I said, I can already see like a controller permanently being embedded in the wall, and them going, nope, I'm gonna play my PS5. I can already see someone with the money to do it buying the PS6 and having this controller, turning on their console, finding that it's so frustrating to play any game they have, and literally boxing it back up, taking it back to wherever they bought it, and playing on the PS5. I can honestly see that happening. In which case, I hear that on YouTube or Facebook, I am gonna laugh my butt off. Like, I might actually die of laughter. Because this is just, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Switch has that touch screen, but most people don't really use it. I mean, I don't really use it. And there's just not a whole lot of games that are going to support that. That's another thing Sony/PlayStation has got to start realizing, is that no one's going to buy it because no game's going to support it. Unless you plan on releasing every game for the next 10 years as a art game where you stroll your finger across the screen constantly to draw something pretty, no one's going to want to buy it. There is not going to be a game that's going to support it. I do not see people playing a game like Dark Souls on it. I don't see people playing Sekiro. I don't see people playing Ratchet and Clank on it. I don't see people doing Call of Duties on it. I don't see Destiny players using it. I can go on and on and on and on and on. There is not going to be a single game that you're going to be using for this device. And all this is just, there's already a festering wound because of the killing physical media, and all they are doing now is pouring salt in the wound. You know what? It's worse than that. You're like, wait, Wookie, what's worse than salt? Oh, there's a whole slew of things that are worse than pouring salt in the wound. You can pour hot sauce into the wound so it actually burns more. There's so much more. And that's what they are doing. They literally just cut open a wound instead of, trying to patch things up, put a Band-Aid on it, let it heal, rebuild the bridge with your customers. No. We're just gonna let instead of doing that, we're just gonna rip it open wider, and we're gonna pour hot sauce, salt, and a whole bunch of other stuff in it, so it burns and gets even worse. I don't know, man. I can never. I mean, the threat of people. I remember seeing this boycott saying people. There was going to be a mass. A lot of people were just turning off their PlayStations for a couple weeks to a month, and I would do that myself. But I'm kind of wanting to keep playing some of the games I'm playing. And by the way, guys, I'm getting towards the end of my video because I was only going to make a 20-minute video as I was driving to work home. I want to profusely apologize for not making any content. I've just been really, really tired lately and busy. There will not be any streaming over the weekend. And we will, because I do have things going on the this weekend. So like I said, there will be no streaming. I will see about making some content. I know we're up to like 2 bosses left on Blasphemous. Again, let me know in the comments of this video or any of those videos if you guys want me to do the DLC bosses, or just save those 3 bosses for when I go on a stream. Again, the next game will be streamed will be Spider-Man. Will be Spider-Man, and then followed by Liza P. After Liza P, we will be making do another round of votings. And I might just make the pool a little bit shorter for you guys. And see, you get ahead of some of the games we haven't gotten the content out for yet. Aside from that, guys, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of this. Do you think this is a great idea and everyone's overreacting, or do you think this is another sign of idiocy from Sony and PlayStation, and that there's going to be worse ideas that they're coming out with in the future? I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section below. And again, at the beginning of this video, like I said, if you're new to the channel, you like my content, you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to give this video a like. All of these things help me out greatly, and I'll see you all on our next adventure.